Okay. So, we have been discussing about the collaborative platform, and that basically helps you to search content, or even you can subscribe to content and get relevant information which you can put to use, right. Now, we go for certain filtering when it comes to collaborative filtering. Okay. So, there are two type of filtering that can be done, that is active filtering or automated filtering. It means active means that you go for manually filtering this, okay, depending upon the kind of interest the content that you are interested in, okay, that you want to share, or you go for automated filtering. Okay. In case of automated filtering, you use certain programs like certain algorithms which is going to make certain recommendations based upon your preferences and content ratings. For example, you have seen that when you search for certain things, those kind of things, what happens to them, that is stored by the system or the memory. Okay. So, when you are going to search for something, it comes out, are you looking for these kind of things. So, that is basically based on statistical algorithms, which is going to make recommendations based on your preferences and content ratings. For example, if you go for online shopping, what happens, and you have looked into some certain things based upon your interest and preference, then it retains with this, it is retained by the system. So, whenever you are going to open that e-commerce website, those things come out, right, and that is based on automated filtering. So, it has already filtered based upon your preference to see that whether you are interested in that particular content or not, right. And there are a lot of basically tools and softwares which are available for these kind of things like Firefly, Group Lens, Grapevine. Okay. They actually helps you to go for collaborative filtering. Okay. So, either you can go for active filtering or you can go for automated filtering. Then you can also go for content community centered filtering. Okay. It means you have people as a network of social relations that is built among the employees, and then you can ask them to go about filtering. It means that you have a good set of people who are connected through net, okay, or they are into a social relationship, okay, and then you ask them to go for these kind of things. Okay. And collaborative filtering actually is very useful, provided there is a trust, reputation, reciprocity among the team members. Okay. So, if the trust, reciprocity and this reputation is available among the team members who are going to collaborate into a social relationship, then the contribution is much better. Okay. Then you will be able to find much relevant content. In that case, what happens, those who are going to collaborate, okay, each one of them provide their perspective and see that what kind of content is going to be relevant in a particular context, right. So, you can also go for community centered filtering. Then coming to another important issue, that is meta knowledge. Okay. What is meta knowledge? It implies knowing what you know. What does it mean? Okay. It means that whatever knowledge you have, that how you are going to tag it with certain other things in order to do certain things. So, understanding that yes, this is what I know and this is what I can do with this, okay, is very important, because sometimes what happens, we understand that okay, this is what we know, but we do not realize that how it could be useful or how it can be put to use, right. So, knowing what you know is very important, and how you are going to put it to use, right. So, it is very context dependent, because you are not aware about or you are not sure about the context, in which context it could be used. For example, you know how to write a program, but you do not know how you are going to make use it in writing a program in a particular context, right. So, you should be able to recognize the pattern, identify the trend, and then see whether there are similar situations in which this kind of knowledge could be put in, right, and that is where then meta knowledge comes into the picture, right. So, if you want to extract meta knowledge, it means realizing what you know is very important, then it is very good for a KM system, right. Then moving to another part, that how you accommodate multiple degrees of context. Okay. What I mean by multiple degrees of context? For example, the context may vary, right. Different people may look at the same thing from different contexts or perspectives, right. Then how you are going to integrate and interact with different kind of things together. Okay. And if you are going to accommodate different kind of context depending upon their level, then it is very important that you are highly connected, are interconnected with each other, right. And then you should be able to communicate effectively with each other. Okay. So, you should have a good communication channel which facilitates good communication or rich communication, okay. And then you should go for high degree of interactivity, probably that helps you to accommodate different contexts together, right. Say if loose social bonding is there, if you are not able to highly connect with each other, then this kind of system is built into your CAM, right, not as a separate component, so that you are able to be a part of it. For example, you know that many companies have their Facebook pages, right. Now, the thing is that whether it is a part of the system or whether it is a separate link that takes you to the Facebook page, right. If it is a part of the system, then you are ultimately connected to this one, okay, and you can communicate through this. If it is not, then you go to the system and then try to connect it, right, in order to solve certain problems, right. So, it is very important to see that how you can accommodate various degree of content. Then another important is what kind of technology choices you have. When I am talking about technology choices, it is very important to understand that the technology is basically the lifeline of the system, okay. And then you need to ensure whether you are going to buy in or whether to create the system is going to be useful and effective, okay. Then you have to see that if you are going to buy it, okay, this technology that you are going to have is very robust, okay, and what kind of products and services are associated with this particular technology, and whether it is going to be provide relevant information consistently, whether the kind of information that is going to be there is going to be valid in the particular context, okay. So, there are a lot of issues related to this one, and the best choice today is web based applications or web, because that is going to help you to interact and relate with each other. That is how you are going to create infrastructure, or you can also have a blueprint for the knowledge management systems, okay, because web provides the capability to have a collaborative platform where you can have rich multimedia repositories for explicit knowledge, or even informational communication channel also for conversational making. Like for example, we have an internet portal, right, which provides a lot of information related to different capabilities. So, if you go to a faculty web page, you can find out what he is doing, and there is a link which provide the kind of research and training that he is doing, okay, and there are articles which he has uploaded on the system, right. So, these repositories are available now. Apart from this formal explicit knowledge, you can also have blogs, okay, where people are going to communicate informally about how to improve other systems, how to go about certain things which is going to help improve your productivity and effectivity, and that is basically an informal communication channel, okay. So, that is where you can converse informally with your colleagues, your seniors, with others, and that is going to be very helpful. So, if you are going for a web based technology, it is always better compared to any other technology. Then another issue is with it need to ensure that this web based technology is going to be very integrative and interactive in itself, right, because if it is integrative, then you can go for collaborating different set of knowledge that is distributed across repositories, okay, whether it is available in explicit form or not, right. Similarly, you have to see that how interactive it is, okay, whether this allow you to relate yourself in order to capture, analyze, or even explicate tacit knowledge of the system's users or not. So, make sure that the KM system, which if it is based on a web based technology, is very integrative. It means it has distributed knowledge repositories in explicit form. Similarly, it also has a system where people are allowed to capture tacit knowledge from the users of the system, right. For example, even email could be a good way to capture tacit knowledge, right. For example, if you have some problem, you send a mail to them and he suggests you how to do it. So, based on these suggestions, you go through it. So, that tacit knowledge is internalized, then you make use of it to perform your job, right. So, that is how you can explicate tacit knowledge of the users to perform effectively. So, make sure that these two criteria are met, that is, it is integrative and interactive as well. See, that is how it happens. So, if you have an integrative and interactive system, then it helps you to evaluate both, interpret and adapt knowledge to new context, right. In the same continuation that I have talked about, you see that these are the repositories from the input is coming, okay. Then this is a KM system which has a integrative application component, it also has a interactive component. So, that is how, see, it is a two-way process, you see, and it is a one-way process. It means that input is being put into the repositories which is going to be used. These are the computers, and here you have users, systems users who can interact with the system, right. And then whatever based on these interactions, they adopt knowledge and which could be used to new context domains, and that can be applied in different settings. Then how the knowledge moves. Okay. Now, if you look at the earlier system, we talked about that it should be integrative and interactive. It means the knowledge repositories should be developed in such a way, so that people can interact with this, not only make use of the knowledge that is there in the system. But if you look at this, it says that how the knowledge flows, right. There are two kind of forces, if you remember, that is taught, is one is centripetal and the other one is centrifugal. What does it mean? If it is centrifugal, it means what? Okay. And the example that that is given here is a electronic publishing model. Okay. In case of electronic publishing model, what happens? It is more centripetal force. Centripetal means what? If you look at this figure, what does it show? From here the knowledge is coming out. Okay. This is the center and this is moving out. Okay. So, this is what we know as centrifugal, and in case of centripetal, what happens? The knowledge is moving in. Okay. So, it is better to have a knowledge management system, an integrative system, which actually allows flow of knowledge from outside to inside, and similarly it should be also centripetal in the sense that it should be able to, you should be able to extract knowledge out of the system, right. So, A is here nothing else, but this is the knowledge author, and U is the consumers. Okay. So, from author to consumer it is going out. Okay. There is a book from where the knowledge is being used by the consumers, and here the author and consumer both are here, and so they interact and relate. So, this is related to integrative component and this is related to interactive component. Okay. So, if it is centripetal, then you have both the capability where you go for integrative as well as interactive knowledge, right. So, interactive application component is very important. Okay. It also supports basically both kind of knowledge, codified and explicit knowledge, while integrative supports only explicit knowledge. Okay. And that is why you should focus more on having a system which is interactive in nature, right, because it provides you a channel to share knowledge across people. Okay. Then moving to C. I have already talked about it, this model that is based on Nonaka and Takeuchi, and he wrote in a book, which was his article that was published in Harvard Business Review, knowledge creating company. Now, if you look at this knowledge creating companies, we have already talked about how the knowledge is transformed from tacit to explicit or otherwise now, and then we talked about 4 different kind of modes through which it happens, right. Socialization, where you go for personalized knowledge transfer, tacit to tacit, externalized, that is tacit to explicit, combination explicit to explicit, and that is internalization, where you read something, then you come to know about something, and that is tacit knowledge, right. Now, if you look at this, how we can make use of it? See, there are different kind of things. Okay. Here, this is based on individual, from one individual moving to another individual. So, the focus is more on interactive forums, right. If you look at this, okay, it is moving from individuals to group, okay, tacit to explicit. So, it is more interactive forums, and here also it is from groups to company. So, you are using different kind of things from company to groups or groups to companies, that is again interactive, and here it is interactive in the sense that the center of it is the group and the individual, and then at the periphery you move to the company, right. So, now if you look at this, we are going to use different kind of combinations to ensure that how we are going for interactive knowledge, that in what way you are going to have or develop an interactive component in the knowledge management system. So, that knowledge is transformed into different from tacit to tacit, explicit to tacit, or explicit to explicit, right. So, you need to have a more interactive component, and that is how it happens. See, SECI means socialization, externalization, combination, and internalization. So, these are the processes where you can see the kind of interaction that happens between the individuals groups and the companies, right. And then see what happens. See, this is the architecture, basically this architectural component that is to be modified in order to see that it is not only integrated, but interactive. See, this is the overall system, this is the hardware part, this is the functional architecture, this is the network architecture, this is the client architecture. So, from hardware you have server, and here the repositories are there, right, and then you have software and then you have hardware. So, this is related to hardware part, this is related to software part. Okay. Then from here application architecture, you have applications which is going to be integrative and interactive, and software you have middlewares, application softwares and operating systems, right, and then you have functional architecture. Okay. So, you see that how this is related, okay. And this needs to be modified depending upon whether you want to have an integrated system or interactive system. So, if this kind of system is both integrative and interactive also, right. So, game application has to be not only integrative, but interactive in nature, right. See how it happens. So, you have functional, hardware and software, these are the repositories, and this is the system through which they are interacted and related. Okay. So, there is a cross section of our architecture, and then you have to see that whether you want to make integrative or interactive, right. See this is the integrative application connected through this TCP IP network, this is a transaction server, this is the web, okay. This is operational database server, this is the application server, this is the workflow server, right. These are the end users where people are there, okay. And this is connected through this clients, different clients which is connected with this one. So, this is the integrated knowledge application, okay, which is connected through various servers, okay, and also the users, right. Another issue is related to build on buy. Okay. When you are going to design a KM architecture, okay, you have people from the IT systems, community users and also others. Then you have to see that whether you need to have external consultants or not, okay, depending upon the requirement. Okay. And then you are going to develop the system from the scratch, okay, provided you do not have any kind of IT system in place or no ERP system. But if you have some kind of system, then you can build upon that, right. Then whether you are going to outsource this kind of system or you are going to develop in house. Like when we developed this ERP system, it was an in house, okay, because we had the functional expertise in the area, we had people, we had experts within the system which tried to develop it, and then kept on modifying it depending upon the requirement, right. So, you have to talk to the consultant to see whether you go for an off the shelf solution, you are going to buy softwares related to SAP or ERP or what Oracle, whatever it is, the various software tools that is available for integration, whether you are going to buy them from or outsource or whether you are going to develop yourself. Even if you are going to buy it, you have to see whether that particular software or the tool is going to meet the requirement of your organization or not. So, you must make sure that it is going to be applied and customized depending upon your requirement, right. Or you can go for buying certain parts or then building certain parts, or you can use an approach, right. Now, look at the various approaches that can be followed. If you are going to customize in house, upfront cost may be high, starting cost may be very high, solution depends, okay, upon the requirement. Time taken is very high, flexibility, but it has very flexible, highly flexible, and customizability is also high, because you know understand the requirement and accordingly you can develop it, right. But if you are going to have a customized one with the a consultant support, again the task is going to be high, but the time taken may be less, but flexibility and customizability very high, but quality may vary, right here, and the cost may be also very high, and there are certain risks associated with that one. But if you are going for customized solution provided by a consultant, then cost may be less, solution will be average, time will be low, but flexibility and other things would be less. Okay. But you might competitors may also be having the same kind of system. So, it does not provide you any competitive advantage. Suppose development by the end users themselves, those who are going to use it, then the cost and other things are low, okay, but flexibility is very high, but it is not recommended because they are not the experts, right. But if you are going for stand off the shelf solutions, then cost is less, solution may be high, but you do not take any time to develop, but flexibility and customizability is less. though the investment is less, but you know that other issues are there. Okay. But if you are going for customize off the shelf solution, okay, you can look at it how it happens. Okay. And this should be your choice, because if you are going for customize of the shelf solution, the cost would be low, solution is good. Okay. You take less time to develop the system. Okay. Flexibility and other things are also average. And if you are going for completely off the shelf solution, then the cost is low, solution is high, but the flexibility and other things are very high, and that should be your first choice. So, depending upon your requirement, you are going to decide whether you are going to build in or buy. Another issue that is related to the KM system is its performance and scalability. Suppose the number of users increases, or there is going to be more and more transactions in the futures, whether your system is going to sustain that or not. Okay. So, that is related to scalability issues. Okay. And if you have high level of scalability, it means your performance is going to be good, okay, even in the future. So, what you need to do is that when you are going to look into the performance related criteria in mind, make sure that the plan account of additional time delays are there. Okay. You have the repositories which is updated in perspective, it means your knowledge base is very updated, and then you have a system in place, okay, which is good, and there is no time for navigation, delay in time for navigating different parts of the system, right, and that is going to decide about your performance. So, scalability means that increasing the number of users can use it, maintaining the same performance level, okay. And how are you going to gauge the performance? Make sure that there is no time delays, people are able to use it, the knowledge system is updated on a regular basis, right, and you have better user interface. See, these are the considerations, functional considerations for this: functionality, consistency and visual clarity. These are the user interface considerations, and that is related to navigability, relevance and feedback. It means the user must find it useful, they get relevant or consistent information, it should be clear to them, they would be able to navigate means that it has easy to use or access, it should be very relevant the information that they are going to have, and then they should be able to get feedback out of the system, right. So, these are the criteria. So, when you are going to design a system, especially for the users, make sure that you design a KM system which meet these criteria or the characteristics. Now, look at another issue that is very important, the network view, because basically you are going to develop a system which is connected through networks, basically communication networks. Okay. It is not a team network where people are going to interact and relate with each other, but it is a communication network built upon an IT system in general sense, right. So, if you are going to have a network system which has three major characteristics, it has a technological network, it has a social network, and it also has a technological networks which is built upon a technology platform, right. So, you need to ensure that this technology platform is the network which is based on these three parameters: technology, society and organization, and you are going to use a technology platform, it is really integrated. So, this network must be able to support the communication across these pieces, right. And then you have to see that how you are going to apply IT systems, application services within the hierarchy of the IT infrastructure, right. That is very important. Now, if you look at this, that is what we are going to discuss today. See what happens. This is a knowledge network in enterprise KM system. This talks about how the knowledge flows, okay, through website, databases, messages, file systems, legacy systems, workflows, collaborative tools and discussions. So, these are the tools through which the knowledge flows from the enterprise knowledge management system to different stakeholders, right, through different means, okay. Like websites are the communication carriers, the databases are the repositories, messages the context through which it is sent, then you have file systems, like how the systems is organized, then how the system is integrated with other systems, that is what we know as legacy system, like how your ERP system is integrated with your accounting system, right, existing accounting system, then how the workflows, okay, and what are the various collaborative tools that is used, and then how discussion takes place. So, here you look at it that how the enterprise knowledge management system is connected to the knowledge flows. Then the next part, then when it comes to knowledge mapping, you can see that how the knowledge is being mapped in the system. You have repositories, you have models, distributed channels, enterprise data, metadata, right. You have informal, formal conversations, check in, check out, what kind of data should be kept and what should not be kept. Then you have how this is connected to the internal networks, right, sorry, external networks. Then coming to the data sources. Now, if you look at it, the data is coming from where? It is coming from distributed search, retrieval, that it could be the multimedia content, right. We have videos, images and other forms of multimedia which where the content is available, or it is versioning controls. Versioning means what version it is, because the version gets upgraded over a period of time. Then you have bulletin boards, okay, like you have digital whiteboards, flash, okay, boards, all these kind of things that is used by them, the organizations today. Then you have transaction data, how the data is being transacted, okay, what kind of data is being transacted through different sources within the organization. Then the operational data, how it is being shared, okay, what kind of operational data is going to be put into the repositories, okay, and the various reports that is there is going to be there, and how we are going to put these data into the repositories. Then the last part is related to the information exchange, that how the information is going to be communicated. You have viewing tools, collaborations, context additions, message integration, legacy integration, threading, how one thing lead to another one, and then how independent the platform is, right. Irrespective of the independence platform, you make sure that people are able to work across platforms, okay, and able to integrate the data and sources together. Then it is also related to what you call pull push agents, I mean intelligent agents and network mining, how the network can be used, like you have data mining, you have web forming technologies, information indexing and classification, how the information is indexed and classified, how the information is clustered and lumped, so that when you search for relevant information, it is possible for you to get it, right. So, this is the network oriented view of knowledge management system, which talks about knowledge flow, information map, how what are the data sources, how the information will be communicated, and how we go about mining and the information. In the last part, we are going to discuss that how we are going to have a very future proof knowledge management system. It is very important in the sense that a knowledge management system should be very robust. So, when we are going to design a knowledge management blueprint, we have also looked into various considerations, that what kind of system you have, whether it should be integrative or interactive, what kind of component it should have, how the repositories should be connected, what are the issues related to repositories. Okay. So, in order to ensure that you have a viable KM system which is going to work in future and it is going to meet the criteria of performance and scalability both, you make sure that your system is ready for the future, right. It is very important, and it is managed and maintained well, it is upgraded on a timely basis, okay, so that you have relevant knowledge base in your system. Now, when it comes to evaluating, make sure that sometimes it may happen that it is not working. So, sometimes inevitably and something that is unavoidable. So, you make sure that yes, sometimes it may happen that there are going to be certain things which cannot be avoided. Okay. So, you accept it, because no system is going to be 100% perfect or foolproof. The only thing that you should be able to identify the loopholes in the system, then and how to are going to bridge that, right. So, accept the inevitable, something that is going to be unavoidable, but you must be able to understand that how we are going to avoid it, right. Second thing, that it should be treated as a business driver. It means it must be aligned with the knowledge management system, I mean your corporate strategy, and make sure that the reason for having a knowledge management system is related to achieving the goals and objectives of the organization. Okay. It is not something of fad or something that is in a fashion that you want to have, but it must be related, because it requires cost, it requires resources to make sure that it is driven by the business, right. And then you have a common standards for across the board, across verticals and horizontal, and ensure that everybody is able to use and have access to use, right. Then you must also keep in mind the users, the end users, because any system that is meant for the users, because ultimately it is the users or the customers, internal, external, who are going to make use of the system, So, they should be in a position to retrieve and apply the information in the context, relevant context, so that it is useful to them. Okay. Another important issue is that it should also have some form of not only explicit knowledge, but tacit knowledge. Okay. That is more intuitive, because when you are going to going for rational decisions, okay, you need more explicit knowledge, but due to lack of explicit knowledge in certain domain areas, okay, make sure that people are going to apply and take certain intuitive decisions, which could turn out to be good decisions as well, right. So, make sure that it is help you to be more intuitive, it means more innovative and creative in your approach. Okay. Then another issue is very important, that once you develop a KM system, you should be able to ensure that how you are going to evaluate it, okay, based on performance, scalability. So, you can develop certain evaluation tools for knowledge management. So, you can develop certain metrics, with the help of which you can find out how effective and good the knowledge management system is. Okay. So, the criteria could be stakeholders, users, okay. It could whether it is able to drive business, whether it is able to meet performance criteria, whether it is able to meet profit criteria, with what the kind of innovations, trademarks, patents, trade secrets you have come out with. So, that could be an useful indicator, okay, which is going to tell you that whether the KM system is good or not. Okay. And finally, your KM system should be able to integrate well with other kind of systems that you have in the organization. Like you have a ERP system, make sure that the ERP system is well integrated with HR systems or the accounting systems, right. And that is how we can make sure that the blueprint that you are going to design for the KM system is very effective and successful, and it meets its objective. Thank you very much.